Yeah, when I was in high school, I was a good student. I wasn't like a bad student, but I was particularly bad in maths, and I was always bad in maths. So when I failed when I failed algebra 2 in like my 10th year, I just put off doing it until like my final year, and I put it off until the very last term that I could do it. So halfway through, we get our interim report, and I had missed a bunch of days of school, and particularly just that class. And well, at this interim report time, I was failing. So I was like, well, I need this class to like graduate high school. So I went to the teacher and I said, I need to pass this class. It's the only way I'm going to graduate high school. And she's like, well, you've not shown up, you've not done your work, yada, yada, yada. So she's like, come in, participate, do your work, and you'll be fine. So I did that for the rest of the term. It was like, I think 8 weeks, so it's not bad. But and if I skipped all the other classes of school, I went to that one, make sure I got all my work done, participated, did all the work. So on the final day of school, we were doing our final exams, and I hand my exam in, and I remember saying to the teacher, her name was Miss Ruff. So I've been a valiant warrior, and I can't remember how I finished off that metaphor, but basically I was asking if I was going to pass the class. And she was like, no! And she's like, you've not come to class, you've not done your work, you've not done this, that, yeah. And so I was like, right, I had two decisions. I was like, I could just wild out and I could just cause a scene here, or I would go speak to someone higher up. And the thing about me in high school is I had a very good relationship with like the school administrators and my guidance counselor and everything. So the bell rings and we're in between passing, and for all of us seniors, it's going to the very final class that we'll ever do. So everybody's really excited, and I'm walking through the hallway with tunnel vision, and my friends are like giving me high fives, and I'm just trying to get to the guidance office. And I walk to the door, and at that moment, the guidance counselor, the guidance director walks out, and he goes, "Hey, Jamal, how you doing?" And it was a big thing for him to know me. It was a school of like 5,000 people. And I said, I could be better. I just found out that I'm failing algebra. And he turned around and he said, well, do you need that to pass? I said, yes. And we walked through some like weird corridor that I've never been to in the school's admin office. And the next thing I know, I'm sat with the principal, or you might call them a headmaster. And it very much felt like I was in court, and I just had an attorney presenting for me. And all I ever said was like my student number, and she goes in the computer. And she looks it up and she's like, well, you're not a bad student and you've got pretty decent grades in maths, like you've got good test scores and everything. It's like, all right, leave my office. And then I go to my next class. And that was my final class, and I didn't have an exam for that, so we just sat there watching Finding Nemo, and every time the phone rang, I perked up and looked, and it would be, oh, so-and-so, your mom's here to come pick you up. Oh, right. Next time the phone rang, same thing. Finally, the third time the phone rang, and it was for me. And I go down to the guidance office, and they said, they've worked something out. I had to go away and do all of my assignments in the next 24 hours. Every assignment I'd missed and a project, all in the next 24 hours. And the big thing was I didn't understand logarithms, and I still don't to this day. So I had friends give me their work, and I just copied and made it look like I did it. In the end, I got it all done. But there was one thing, and there were a few assignments that I knew would look like I didn't do it because I had only just put the answer and not worked out the problem, all those logarithm ones. So I asked my friends, I said, do I look tired enough? And they said, no, you look like fine. And I was like, well, I've been up for like the last 36 hours. I should look tired. And they're not going to believe I did this work if I don't look tired. It's like, how do I make myself look tired? And somebody had an orange. And I said, can we grab that orange, please? And we cut it in half, and we just squeezed it into my eye so my eyes would be red. And I went back to the guidance office. I said, there's all my work. And they looked at it, and she asked me the very question I was worried about her asking. She said, how did you solve these? And I said, ma'am, it was 2 a.m. I have no idea. I just did it. She's like, oh, okay. Well, she looked at the guidance officer and she said, well, I guess I'll give him the D. And that is how I graduated high school.